Hello, welcome to the United Man. My name is Shane. Today we have another guest on podcast 2 in the form of my mate Terry Weeks. How are we doing, Tez?
I'm not too bad, thanks. Yourself?
Loving it, man. Loving it. Just got to unplug this because of buzzing sound. But yeah, so today we're going to be going through, as the title says, we're going to be going through the Manchester United players and grading them on a scale of A to F. So A being the worst, A being the best, F being the worst. Let's get that right for starters. If we start with, we'll just put 5 subs in, Tez, if that's all right. We'll go for the main 11 in just a moment, but if we throw in sort of like 5 subs, like the main subs, I don't want to go through all 9 subs that we played that we had on the bench. Just the 9 subs. So if we say Dan James, Igalo, McTominay, Fred, and one more would be, I suppose, if we say Romero, just as another goalkeeper. Yeah. So should we start with Romero then? And you can go first, Tez. Obviously, A being the best and F being the worst. Let's start with Romero. What would you give him then, Tez? And why?
Romero, I'd probably give him the middle one. C or D. Yes, we'll say D.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
We haven't saw a lot of him, have we? No fairness.
And that's not his fault, is it? That's the thing as well. It's really, really not his fault. It's someone else's fault, let's say. But we won't dwell too much on the substitutes, because there's a lot to get through in terms of this starting 11, obviously. So yeah, we'll just give him a quick rating. I'll give Romero, like you say, we've not seen him too much, so I've got to go sort of like you say, middle groundish. I'll go with a D because, like I said, we're not seeing, like you said, we're not seeing that much. If we go to now, if we say Scott McTominay, what would you give him?
Scott McTominay would be, in my view, he'd be like a C going up to a B kind of thing.
Okay. Why would you give him that?
I think he's come on a lot. I think his making was last season when we played against PSG.
Yes.
And we didn't have Pogba and we didn't have Matic, and him and Fred had to step up.
Good point. Good point. And they did, like you say.
I think when Pogba went this season, when he went injured, or AWOL or whatever you want to call it, he was.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying, I know a lot of people are saying he's not really injured, he's trying to engineer his move or whatever. I got that a lot. But I think when he was out, when Pogba was out, just before Bruno coming, I think McTominay, he did a job. He was asked to go and do a job.
That's true.
We needed to play midfield.
Yeah.
So he went and played in midfield. And he finished the blue side of the city off as well, didn't he, with that goal?
Yeah, from distance too. No, I like that one. So so you'll give him a C.
I'll say C. I'll say C. If he'd gone on the whole season, probably it would have been more pushing B. But yeah, not many. I'm not going to give too many A's or B's in this rating thing.
Yeah, I know. It's you're a tough crowd, Tez. That's why. Let's be honest, you're a tough crowd, bro. That's what it is. Okay, so you give him a C, then, you reckon? Yeah. Okay, and Romero is a D as well. So we've both gone D. So I'll say Scott McTominay, I'll be honest. I'll keep in line, if I'm honest, and I'll go with a C as well, just purely because it's unfortunate that for him, that Pogba and Bruno obviously came back. Obviously not for the rest of Man United, but for him personally, it's unfortunate because obviously them guys, they've got the name, they've got the obviously the money spent on them, and obviously, you know, you'd like to think they've got the ability behind them to warrant starting ahead of Scott McTominay. But in the same breath, as you said, he's come on, he's done what has been asked of him. He's been brought on, like you say, he's progressed. But, you know, it's up to him now to try and work his way in, because obviously we're looking towards another midfielder, possibly CDM, maybe not this summer, but maybe next. So, you know, he's got maybe another season to try and prove his worth. So I'll go with a C as well. Next up is Fred himself.
Fred, he's got to be the same as McTominay, in all fairness. You can't score McTominay and C and then say, Fred's a D or a A.
Yeah.
Because, again, They held their own. They come in and they help the squad. They come and did a bit for the squad.
They did.
Team players, and you know you can't knock them for that. And they actually did it well. I mean, at some point, I didn't actually like Fred as a player. Come probably mid last season, I thought he gave the ball away too much. I I thought he tried too hard.
Which he did.
I thought he really tried too hard, but no, I don't know. Somebody's had I don't know if Ali or Carrick's had a word in his ear and said, keep it simple.
Just calm down a bit, keep it simple.
It doesn't give it away. He has a couple of games where he does do his straight passing, but I think he's really coming on his own now.
So do you think with Fred? Well, there you go. Sorry, go on. Before we compared to when what? Sorry.
For how he was, like, say this time say the beginning of last season, he weren't exactly setting us alight, was he? We was actually thinking, what did we spend?
50 mil for? Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. And with that, I'll just be echoing your statement on that. Like you say, with McTominay and Fred, we can't really say too much great about them, but you certainly can't say too much bad about them. That's for sure. So I've gone with a C with Fred as well there. Let's go to Dan James now. What would you give Dan James?
Dan James. So it's gonna sound harsh, but it's gonna be like a D, because he started off really well, but then what can I say? Rashford and Martial and Mr. Greenwood started.
Right. Well, let's not utter their names. We're going to come on to them, boys. So listen, I tend to agree with you when it comes to Dan James. He started off, was it 4 goals in the first 5 games or something like that? I tend to agree with you, Tez. To be fair, it's unfortunate because he was operating when he was playing his best. He was operating off the left-hand side, cutting in on his right. When Rashford came back, obviously he's got shoved over to the right-hand side, and he's nowhere near as effective. And that's where he spent the majority of the season. He started a lot of games, wasn't really being productive in terms of when he's on the pitch. So I would actually go with a D as well. So far at the first 4, we've started with the subs for those of you that are just joining us on the player rating A to F. And at the moment, myself and Terry are pretty much, we've scored the same, haven't we, on Romero, McTominay, Fred, and Dan James. Last of the subs, we've only got with 5 subs though. Last of the subs, we'll go with Odi Nagalo before we get into the starting lineup. What would you give Odi Nagalo then, Tez?
Odi Nagalo, again, it's going to sound harsh, but I'm going to have to give him probably D, because he come in January. He hasn't played much, but when he has played, I'll give him that. He's not let us down.
But he's not played much.
I would have liked to see a lot more of him. I would like to see him used a lot more than what he has been. And hopefully we can get him to stay.
That's the thing. Will we be able to get him to stay? Because like we've all been saying for ages, we need another striker. Yes, we do. But then a lot of us that know the club and the players we got and appreciate the players we got have also been saying we need a different type of striker. And Odi Nagalo is just that. So for me, to not keep him would actually be madness, in all honesty. I feel like we should I know it's going to cost maybe 16 17 mil, but surely he's a Manchester United supporter, he's 31, he's willing to come off the bench, he's gonna school some of the other players in his position, teach him a few things as well, isn't he? So surely keep him. He's obviously going to be a positive
and influence. He's just happy to be there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's on the pitch or he's on the bench. He's happy to be there.
And that's massive though, isn't it, Tez? So let's be honest, man. It's we if we didn't have if we had someone
25 on the bench, players like that, that'd be sound.
There you go. There you go. So I'd actually give him a C, just purely because when he started, I feel like when he starts games, he's just dangerous. And like you said, you wanted to see more of him. I definitely want to see more of him. I'd like to think that he'd start against Lask on Wednesday. So being 5-0 ahead, obviously. So we'll see. But on to the first team now, or the starting 11, let's say. We shall start with the goalkeeper, and that is obviously David De Gea. So what would you give Mr. De Gea then?
Mr. De Gea, I would give him, I'm going to go with, so if somebody's asked me 1 to 10 on this, I would have given him a 5.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like a D in it.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah. I'm not against David De Gea. I'm not one of these people that want him out of the club.
Yeah.
Literally, this season he's made some clangers, but then in other games he's shown it is why we've got him in goal.
Yeah.
He is below par, I believe, from what he has been. So yeah, I think D, or if you're going to go 1 to 10, 5, I think in the middle.
Okay.
It's not the best.
Okay,
it's not the worst.
I agree, he's not the worst, but actually, that may not be entirely true. I've gone with an E, just purely because of I know, brother. It's harsh, but just purely because of where we are, and how many points we've dropped. I feel like we'd be in a better position if we hadn't dropped as many points, and we've dropped quite a few points because of significant errors, solely down to De Gea. So, and I'm only giving him an E because of his high standards, i.e., being one of the best in the world. So that's why I've gone with an E, unfortunately, and that's just me hoping that he is, possibly has an opportunity to get back. But on the podcast we was doing yesterday, podcast number 1, I was actually saying that after the Ollie started him after the Chelsea errors, I was thinking to myself, as long as he's at the club, he may not actually ever drop him, regardless of what or how many mistakes he makes, and that to me is frightening. So for that purpose, I was saying to bring back Mr. Henderson and get them to duke it out. If Henderson spends one season here with De Gea and does what I think he will do, because De Gea's been out of form for at least 18 months now, and that's a long old time to be out of form, I feel. So it's, I don't know, it's very harsh because of the history, but he's it's just one of those.
Probably, yeah. Well, that's fair.
It's just I don't like it because I do love De Gea, man, and that's the thing. It's one of those, but I'm being harsh by his own standards, put it that way. If we go into so you've given a D and I've given him an E. If we go into the defenders then, which is quite a contentious point. If we start with, where do you want to start with in the defense, Tez? You tell me.
We'll start with the right back. We'll go across.
Okay, so we will start with Mr. Wan-Bissaka then, yes?
Yeah, why not?
Okie dokie. I'll let you go ahead.
I'm gonna give this guy. You know what? I'm going to give him a C.
A C, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And why is that?
I think he's helped us become more solid defensively. There's no arguments of what he's like defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like he's like a young Lilian Thuram. Nobody gets past him. That leg comes out of nowhere.
What is that name you called him?
Oh, Wan Thuram.
Wan Thuram, that's the name. Yeah. That's the name, bro.
Yeah. And if he's heard that here and he decides he's gonna, what's that? Remember it coming from me. He's good defensively, and at the moment that's what we need. We need to shore up our defense. You can work on running forward and crossing the ball. You can work on that.
Yeah.
But defend. That's what he's brought to be a defender. And at the moment, especially with our shaky goalkeeping errors at the moment, we need a sure defense. That's what we need to build on. That's what we've always had. We've always had a sure defense. You go back to Schmeichel. Schmeichel always trusted. I know it didn't look like it the way he used to go at Neville and the rest of them, but exactly. He trusted them and they trusted him, and that's what we need to get back. And you can guarantee. I mean, if Wan-Bissaka can keep people like Sterling in his pocket, then that's what I'm giving him a say.
Well, that in itself is one of the reasons why I would just say, literally, Wan-Bissaka, I'd go for a B, just purely because, as you said, you buy a defender to defend first and foremost. I understand in this day and age that we have a lot of wing backs. Obviously, they're expected to get up the field, but I can't help but say defenders are first and foremost defenders, as I've mentioned, and he's the best at that, in my opinion, as a one-on-one defender. Certainly in the wing-back positions, he's the best. This isn't just me. This isn't just you, Tez. This is from ex-football professionals: Martin Keown, Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer. Yes, some ex-Manchester United pros as well, but these are guys in the know. They know a lot better than us. So for me, we've got to respect that. And with a lot of ex-professionals saying he's the best one-on-one defender in the Premier League, we have to take that. So for me, he's improving slowly in terms of going forward. We can't forget that he was a winger at first, but he is improving going forwards. So for that reason, I'd give him a B overall, being the best one-on-one defender in the Premier League. Eat that, Liverpool fans, I think, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. But yeah, just before we go forward, just want to say thanks for everyone joining us and everyone in the comments as well. We will be reading through some of the comments. So for Mad Mark UK, for example, he said Fred is great. You don't see what he does off the ball. Better than slow sprinter Pogba. yeah. Terry's laughing. For all of you that don't know, Terry's laughing specifically at that comment because he knows I'm a Manchester United Pogba fan, and he's a Manchester United Pogba 50-50 sometimes fan. So he likes to get
64.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, he likes to wind me up about Pogba a lot. So yeah, that's why Terry's laughing at that one as well. So yeah, let's see what Mad Mark says. Loyal United fans, God Greenwood had a couple of good games. How long before his form dips and yous want him out? Typical United fans. Ha 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 ha. Glory days all over. Listen, what I'd say about Greenwood specifically, even when he does lose form, he has the technical ability to just be out of a game, and then in an instant, just like that, he's in a game, he scored you a goal or created something. Such is his ability. So I will never worry about him specifically losing form. Say, what would you say to that one, Tez?
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Yeah, I think he'll be looked after by his coaching staff. Our mate that just made that comment, is he a Liverpool fan by any chance?
He is a Liverpool fan, yes.
He is a Liverpool fan. It's all right. Greenwood will be better than Michael Owen, and he won't have elastic. He won't have glass hamstrings.
Yeah. What about Robbie Fowler?
Robbie Fowler? He'd be better than him as well. Why not?
I think he's ready, to be fair. What do you reckon? Anyway, let's leave that and let's go on to our next defender, which is Victor Lindelof. Terry, what would you give him and why?
Oh, Victor Lindelof. I would give Victor Lindelof a D.
D, okay.
And he isn't a bad defender. I mean, I know he's a bit suspect in the air, but
a bit, Tez. You're being nice there, mate.
I'm keeping it R-rated, mate. I'm not doing R-rated. He's good on the floor, but it doesn't work with Maguire. The partnership don't work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It doesn't complement Maguire very well. I think after time he gets in one per sack as well.
Yeah, he does. He does. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah. I would, if we could get a good centre back this summer, I wouldn't cry if Lindelof left.
Yeah. I'm going to second that, and I'm going to go and give him Lindelof a big fat F, which is the worst rating, because I touched on this yesterday. If you're going to be a centre back, you have to specialise in one of these things. Great in the air, Maguire is. Positionally, great. Maguire's good, decent. A leader, communicator, which Maguire is. Those are three sort of specialities that Maguire brings. You've got to be rapid, or you've got to be super strong. Lindelof doesn't answer or tick any of those 5 boxes for me. So for me, that makes him a championship centre back. So I don't know how he's still at Man United, but that's just me. Everyone knows I'm not a big Lindelof fan, so he gets an F for me. So yeah, that's Lindelof for you. So moving down the line, we'll go on to El Capitan.
Yeah,
Harry Maguire.
I'm going to go C. I think.
C,
I think he's had a good had a good solid season. Be given the captaincy, which can be daunting to hold that. If you think of who's hold that band for United, everybody's looking at you. You got to be a Roy Keane. You got to be a Ryan Giggs. You got to be Eric Cantona.
Rio, Vidic.
Yeah. If you want to go even further back, you've got to be a Robson.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Captain Marvel himself, eh?
Yeah,
Captain Marvel himself.
So it's a kind of like the number 7 shirt at United comes with great power. So does the captain's armband, I think.
And great responsibility, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
he handled it well.
Yeah, he has. He's kind of taken it in his stride. He has had some shaky performances from time to time, but overall, just coming in your first season, taking on that, like you said, that big, massive responsibility of captain of Manchester United is by no means feat. That's huge, absolutely huge, and that cannot be underestimated in his first season. How long was it? Like 3 months, 4 months into his United career, got the armband. So
something like that, yeah.
That can't be underestimated, and I think we've got to keep that in mind. As I said, towards the end of the season, I think a lot of players were just massively fatigued, made a few mistakes and whatnot, but he's got some of those speciality centre-back traits of what I just mentioned, which for me, you bring that to the table, and his leadership and communication skills that he brings as well. Yeah, he's made some mistakes, as I said, but like I said, he's been pretty solid overall. So that takes us on to our next defender, which is left back Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this guy. I'm gonna give him a C.
You sounded a bit. You weren't sure then.
Now it's good. Beginning of the season, he started off slow, and I know I watched a lot of people doing watch-alongs, and it wasn't fair. Every time he touched the ball, they weren't very complimentary to him. Let's just say.
Yeah.
But I think he's come on. I mean, a lot of people saying he's worried about breaking his foot. I think anybody else would. If you broke your foot like that.
Yeah.
And it's only, I know it's a couple of seasons ago, but it still plays on people's minds. I'm sure every football player does the same. He goes to themselves like that.
Yeah.
But I like this thing he tries to do with Rashford now down the wing.
Absolutely.
When we played Frey at the back, he slotted in as the left centre back, and I think he done a really good job. Something he probably hadn't done before. He was asked to do it. He done it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give him a say. If we can carry on like that for the season, then we won't have to, waste our time looking for another centre back. I mean, left back, because we'll have him. We'll have Williams. We can concentrate on looking for the people we actually need. Centre back, centre mid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, I'm gonna have to echo that one. In terms of, I think one of the biggest things for me with regards to Luke Shaw was when towards the end of the season when he's been injured, and how much we missed him. Obviously, Brandon Williams was playing, but obviously he was playing what it looked like half concussed still when he had to deputise for him, and obviously Fosu Mensah played as well. But for me, I'm really, really, really happy with that with Luke Shaw and how he's done. I feel like he's definitely solidified himself as the starting left back for Manchester United. As you said, we can kind of move on from him, obviously barring injury, which he's unfortunately got injured again. Hopefully we can move on from looking in that area, and the right back and one centre back, and then we just have to look at, like you said, a centre back and a central midfielder. So yeah, and it's just been super consistent, really, really consistent all season long. And you notice that as they say, the old adage is you don't know what you got till it's gone. And for me, that rang true with Luke Shaw for definite. So yeah, for me, I'll go with a C as well for Luke Shaw. So yeah, I do like. To be fair, I was never Luke Shaw's biggest sort of supporter, but he's kind of won me round this season with the consistency, as I say. So yeah, and that takes us on to the midfielders. If we start with Mr. Well, let's say old head, Nemanja Matic.
Nemanja Matic. I'm gonna give Nemanja Matic a D.
D, yeah? Ooh, yeah. Tez. Come on, man. You've been harsh there, bro.
I think a lot of Man United fans can agree that not long before, that little good run we went on before the lockdown.
Yes, he was on his last leg, wasn't he?
Before we went on that good run, people were calling for him to be gone.
Yeah, you're right.
Teams were, missing him with those walking through our midfield because he couldn't keep up with them.
Yeah.
I can't remember who we played, but they ran rings around him. And a lot of people were saying, a lot of United fans I know at work were saying Matic is done.
I was as well. I was one of them. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. I think I was one of them. If you'd give me like who you're going to sell at the end of the season, I think Matic would have been one of them.
Yeah.
One of the first names, along with Lindelof. But yeah. And then after we had the lockdown, he has. I will hold my hands up and say he done really well.
Were you one of those that thought it was done as well, though?
I was one of those that thought it was done. Actually thought they was going to stick McTominay there after the lockdown. I thought McTominay would play a lot more than what he has, in all fairness. But obviously, Ollie saw something in training.
Warranted a chance there as well.
Yeah, it was warranted a chance. I just think with Matic, if you look at him after the lockdown, he started doing what he was asked to do, basically what you expected him to do. I know he crumbled a bit under Southampton, and when Chelsea were what's the name? But that's a different story. I know we've had that conversation.
Yeah.
By text, mate. And but I think I have to say, well.
I think you know what, with Matic, and for the same reason that you said that he was on his way out, and I agree with that. Pretty much all United fans thought he was out the door as well. For that reason, I'm going to give him a C because he surprised me. I really thought it was done. I really do. I just thought to myself, it's a case of he's out the door, but something happened, and we can only go in the way of Ollie or Carrick or Mike Phelan. For some reason they managed to bring him back around. So I can see, is it John is it Nancy's giving Matic a C overall as well. And by all means, guys, get your ratings in as well, by all means. But I ultimately I'm hoping that we don't look past what he's done and we still give him the opportunity, even if we do buy a CDM. Then at the beginning of next season, you can't just chuck him away because of how he's been doing and give him the opportunity to keep his place. Whereas ultimately, if we do bring in another CDM, then he'd have to win his place off Matic, which I don't see that. I don't see anything wrong with that because he's warranted, starting next season. I'd say for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think he needs somebody next to him to help him.
Yeah,
again, so we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, we have. That. But then you say that we do warrant some kind of combative, battling midfielder. I think Matic, when he was out the side, you could tell he was out the side. In the latter run of the season, you could tell he was out of the side. So it's one of those. Let's have a look. Okay, so just going back to one of the comments, so Werison says, "Hi Shane, De Gea lacks motivation. We need to move him on." What do you say to that, Tez?
I can see his point.
Do you think it's down to motivation though, or?
I don't know. I think it's just a confidence thing. I mean, I've played in goal before. You do if they're starting to go past you, or you make you drop a clanger, or even if the four guys in front of you, you don't trust them. Then you're thinking, what am I doing here? Kind of thing. I've been a few games. I mean, I remember only 5-a-side where I was used for 25 minutes. I was used as a shooting practice. Because none of the guys could get close to anybody, and you're thinking, what am I doing here? What I should have stayed at home. But now, if Hendo comes in and absolutely thinks, I am the new guy you need in there, between the sticks, because I think he's got the confidence and all that.
I think he's definitely got it. He's got that arrogance, hasn't he, Hendo?
It's what you gotta have. You gotta have arrogance about you to play in goal for Man United.
Yeah, absolutely.
The arrogant. I mean, you wouldn't put Schmeichel, if you was to describe Schmeichel, your first word that come out of your mouth wouldn't be arrogant. But some of the things he done, some of the things he done was arrogant.
Yeah.
To think that he had the right to shout as a defender was arrogant to start with.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. But you don't think about. But yeah,
but no one would ever mess with Schmeichel that way either. They wouldn't dare, say too much. I think you got an admirer here, mate. Tez, you know your football just like me. Pogba out.
I'm not a Liverpool fan.
Hey? So Lindelof doesn't work with our system. He switches off and loses motivation. That's from Javi as well.
I'm going to second that.
Yeah, I just wholeheartedly second that, and I just don't believe that he's good enough ultimately. And Mad Mark there agreeing that Luke Shaw is class. Akil P. Luke Shaw has improved significantly after Brandon Williams came through. Competition can can only help players. That's a very, very good point there, Akil. That's very valid there as well. I believe if Brandon Williams hadn't come, so that would then insinuate that Luke Shaw was a little bit complacent, maybe.
It might be. Or did he just need the kick up the backside? Maybe that's what happened to Matic.
Yeah, true. Well, but then who? I suppose Fred and
McTominay were holding the fort for us, so we went on that wicked run just before close down, and then Bruno comes in. You think I've got to pull my socks up as I'm gone?
Yeah, true. No, that's good. That's a good point. But I'd like to see us still, as Akil said there, still need to sign CDM. Even if Matic stays fit, he can't play more than 30 games a season. Again, a good point there from Akil. Which I can see why where we are now, people are just going to be really, 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 I suppose, conscious of the fact that Matic's legs aren't what they were. And that being said, that takes us on to our next midfielder, which is Paul Pogba.
I thought he was going to leave him till last.
I'm not, because we will end up arguing over him.
That's what I mean.
So this way, we have to move it on. We have to forcibly move it on. Come on, Tez. Come on. Give me what you got, mate. On Paul Pogba.
Mate, right, again, I sat down this morning. I done my thing like 1 to 10 kind of thing, and I honestly, the number just comes straight into my head, 5.
Oh, that's a D then, isn't it, Tez? Come on, Tez, mate.
Yeah, it's a D, mate.
Oh, that hurt my soul when you said that, man.
Mate, the reason being, he was out for a very long time. Whether he was really injured, I mean, he was seen playing basketball, right? But we won't go into that, right?
I can stand really and shoot with an injury. Come on.
No, with your injury, you wouldn't have to be out, so you got a broken foot.
Yeah, you're right.
No, whether he was going to see specialists or whatever to help him out, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs. Or whether he was having other people were saying he's having secret meetings with his agent to go and get himself and move to Real Madrid or back to Juventus. That's yet to be seen. But all these things that was being said, he did not come out and say it's not true. I'm just injured and I can't wait to get back to play for Manchester United.
True.
When he was playing for Manchester United, it was kind of like his first season was good because he obviously we won the trophies. But then there was the season after, he was like, he'd show up against the little teams, and then the Man City's, the Liverpools, you think it was 10 and 11. He'd go missing for half an hour. And he was starting to do that. Then he got injured. Then Bruno come in, and it was like, oh well, I've got another class player now. I actually want to play now.
Yeah.
And he come in.
Yeah.
And I think I said it to old man Jay, and I think I surprised him when we was talking about it, and I think I've said it to you before.
Yeah.
I don't think he can play midfield in the Premiership.
Whew.
I think the jury's still out. It was the Southampton game.
I was just going to say, is it because of the pace when it's going bang, 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 bang?
Yeah, I think he's okay when we're playing against teams that think we're going to get bashed here, so we're gonna sit back, and then match it when you get like, say, let's say, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a team. Let's say Burnley, they're all going to sit back. They're all going to sit back, and now and again Rodriguez is going to try and break forward. Matic can mop that up, meaning Bruno and Pogba can go and do their little intricate passes to the three up front.
Yeah.
But when we come up against Southampton, and then after that, was it Palace?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and then
yes, it was.
Yeah, with Southampton, Palace, and Chelsea all in a row, they pressured us, and Matic couldn't do it on his own.
Yeah.
And Bruno is better. Bruno's better up where he was, and Pogba was trying to play there, but he can't. He was hurried into. He even done a few against Chelsea. They hurried him. He messed up.
I just think I'm not going to make no excuses for my guy Pogba, but I'm just going to say he was tired. There weren't a shout. His teammates didn't give him a shout. You know how it's quiet and there's no crowd there. No one gave him a shout.
He had 6 months off. He had 6 months off, right? How could he be tired?
I told you a tough crowd, but just look at what John Knighty said anyway. Just keep looking at that, mate. What's that say? B+.
He meant somebody put a stroke in between that to make that D to make it look a B.
No, it's not. That's a B+. You know. That being said, I'm gonna give Pogba a C because of some of the reasons that you actually suggested as well. But on the other hand, I would also say when he's not in the side, you can see it so much. He's like, for example, when he first returned to the club from Juventus, his first game, you were like, damn, he's really, really, really got something that we haven't got, which is class, ability. And you can't teach that. So, for example, you know his first game back against Spurs where he came on, and that half volley 60-yard pass to Rashford in stride that he didn't control very well. You can't teach that. Where he's on the touchline facing up Eric Dyer, and he goes one way, comes back the other, controls it on the touchline and wins the penalty. You can't teach that. When he's under pressure and he's controlling the ball in the air, he's got 2 players around him. Again, you can't teach that. He's just got such natural ability that you aren't able to just teach. He's got it. It's like you can't teach what he has to McTominay, who's similar size to him, or Fred. It's just a case of he's got that class ability, but his consistency is just, he's still suffering from it. And I think to your point where, you know, it may be the intensity of the Premier League that he struggles with, maybe. So I do take your point, the fact that he
players out, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, which is why I don't think Messi could do it.
Yeah, Shevchenko couldn't do it.
Just saying, Shevchenko. Yeah, you're right. And then Crespo tried it as well. All these guys that are like,
I think our Liverpool supporter that's watching us, I'm sure he can say it now. Morientes. He come down to Premiership and he couldn't.
Yeah. Florian Morientes, Real Madrid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd go with C for Pogba, and I think you're harsh, Terry, but you're always my Pogba. So we'll just leave it there on.
Mate, he's got the class. I'll give him that. You don't become a World Cup winner if you haven't got the class.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep going.
I'm just saying, right? He's got the class. Yeah. He can ping out a ball. He can have a shot. He can take players on. But the way the Premiership plays, can he handle it? Did Ferguson look at that and think no?
But he offered him a contract, but he refused. It wasn't enough. Because he wasn't.
Why didn't he offer him enough then?
Because Fergie's old school. And I like that. He's old school. No, I'm not paying him 70 grand and he's only 18. I like that. I don't think it just came down to money. I think it came down to the fact that he wanted to play first team. And like you said, Fergie saw that he possibly wasn't ready yet. So, yeah, I'll always agree with Fergie anyway. I always will.
I hope I'm wrong for Man United's sake. I hope he picks up the pace and he thinks, I'm a Premiership player. I want to show everybody I'm a Premiership player. I don't want to go to Liga and where I can have a coffee and a fag before I pass the ball off because nobody tackles me. I hope he does that, and I hope he becomes a good player for United.
Physically, he's got the attributes, though, hasn't he, to actually do it all? You're just being harsh, man. Let's go on to Bruno Fernandes. Go. So Bruno Fernandes.
a season long is a B all day long.
Okay.
But I'm gonna give him a C.
What?
Because mate, it's been that long.
Right, like, hold on. Everyone in the comments, you see what I have to deal with all the time with this guy. All the time for years, this is what I've been putting up with. You see how he did it as well. You see how
I want to see that reaction, mate. He's got to be. Don't worry, mate.
Are you doing that to me? Why are you doing this to me? Dear me, I rest my case.
But you can't put nothing down to him, can you? You can't give him an A because
he weren't here from the beginning, was he?
He weren't here from the beginning, but if he does what he's done for whatever since January next season, he's gonna get an A, innit?
Yeah. Well, you're again being harsh, Terry Weeks, and I'm gonna give him a bloody A. Because look where we were. How many games did we lose with him in the side? 1. And the run that we went on since he's been at the side, we cannot discount the influence on the whole entire squad, Pogba included, who you just alluded to, that when he's seen someone that can play at his level, he's decided to, I can't be outshone. He's puffed out his chest a little bit, and I think that he's inspired everyone at the club. He's inspired the whole entire Manchester United. Like, we were maybe 5-6 years off getting anywhere near a Premier League. Now I'm saying 2-3 seasons maybe maximum that we can, and I think that's solely down to his mentality. If Maguire wasn't ready the club captain, I think this summer he would have given it to Bruno Fernandes. Such is his influence on the club, such is his mentality, his work rate, everything he does for the club. Half the time he's closing down three defenders to try and win the ball back, whilst the rest of the Man United team are just jogging around watching him. So he just wants it so badly, so much, and I can't. That's why I've given him A. Not to mention his stats in double figures for goals and assists already in all competitions. The guy is just absolutely outstanding, and after this we're going to do our player of the season. I think overall, well, so far I should say, because we've still got Europa League. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes. Paul Pogba's my guy, but Bruno Fernandes is, he's on another level, let's say. And Terry, I don't know how he did me like that, trying to say that he give him a C. That was not nice.
You got a beat in there. Don't worry.
Just about after you give me a damn near heart attack. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just want to see the look on your face. It was priceless. No fairness.
That's you see how he treats me. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm just seeing some of the comments here. Matt Rush, what's going on, my guy? Fabrizio just confirmed agreement done with Sancho. Minus the handshake, I'm assuming. I'm just going to go to the transfer centre, Sky Sports. Man United close to agreement. Let's read that out. Jadon Sancho, Manchester United close to agreeing personal terms on 5-year deal. Manchester United close to agreeing personal terms. As discussions continue at the advanced stage with Borussia Dortmund over the structure of the transfer fee. So I read earlier today that it was actually 70 million up front, and then the rest will be in add-ons. So yeah, we've got some more people in chat. Matt Rush, what's going on? Rachel's in the house. What's going on, Rach? What else we got in here? So what do you reckon to that then?
The Sancho.
Yeah.
Well, if we've managed to pull that off, obviously Woodward's not in charge anymore.
Woodward's not in charge anymore. Listen to.
No, it's a good acquisition to the team. In all fairness,
I've got to take Mark to task here. Matt Rush does not deliver fake news, Mark. Just, come on, show some respect to the main. Okay, so John Knight is also saying we need a mobile CDM, and that's kind of what we were alluding to, wasn't it? A mobile guy to go, maybe next to Matic or Pogba or Bruno, however it works out. So, how do we line up then? So whilst we're on Sancho, we was touching on this yesterday. How do we line up then, Tez, in your mind's eye, if we sign if we do sign, obviously, Sancho, which looks like is imminent anyway, and which I will reiterate, I've always said it's a matter of when and not if. How do you see us lining up, Tez?
Pretty much the same. In all fairness, 4-3-3. Bruno feeding the front three, which can easily be any of Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, Igalo if we keep him, Daniel James.
Yeah.
Obviously Matic holding, or if he can't play, if you're a bit late in the season, he's a bit tired, then he can always come on and control games. But you say to start with Matic holding, then we need that mobile CDM. Maybe it's your mate Pogba, maybe not.Maybe he's on the bench for Vince Belton.
Who would be your choice though of mobile CDM? Because there aren't loads of outstanding ones out there.
There's not loads about, is there? God. If we've got Matic in the team to do the mopping up, then I'd go for a Verratti kind of player.
Yeah.
Or
how
the guy from Italy with the really long name, Savic.
Milinkovic
or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He's a beast of a guy like Pogba, though, isn't he? And you don't like. Say it like it is, damn it. Say it like it is. Come on.
I'm 64.
No. Oh dear me. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Right. We shall. Okay. So my guy Matt Rush is putting a super chat. Much appreciated, Matt, for that. Sancho, welcome to Old Trafford. See, Mark. Matt does not put up fake news. Thank you very much again there, Matt, for the super chat, my mate. Let's go back to. Well, I say go back to the lineup. We're now on the forwards. So, where do you want to start then, Tez?
Well, it doesn't really matter.
We only got three more. We'll start with Rashford.
Let's start with Rashford. I'm going to give Rashford a B.
A B?
Yeah.
You surprised me. And why is that then, Tez?
I think he has come on a lot. He's made that, as you said earlier with Dan James, he's made that left wing his own.
Yeah.
20 plus goals is important. I think he's going to get way past that now.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
He's got the Europa to go for.
22 now, aren't they?
Yeah. I think he's starting to strike up a really good partnership with Martial. Not just his partnership down the wing with Shaw. I think he's got kind of I think they've got a young Cole and York thing going on. They're starting to get it.
Before he got injured as well, Rashford, I really do agree with you that their link-up play together was something else. They were, like you say, the relationship was developing at quite a significant rate, and now they like to do all those little intricate 1-2s in around the edge of the area, and now they've obviously brought in Greenwood into that fold as well. I just want to go back a little bit. I just
all the way back.
Sorry, Tez. Messed up.
There you go, then, mate.
Guys, just technical fault. I was just going to go back to his article where he's just mentioning. If I can find it. Gone. That one. What do you reckon?
Bruno is like Cantona.
In terms, I'm thinking he's referring to the influence, isn't it?
Yeah. He was our catalyst to getting our first title.
Yeah. So
I can say that.
To all the Liverpool fans out there, do you see Bruno leading us to our next title? Next couple of years as well.
Yeah, man. Why not? Because they ain't going to win it next season, are they?
This is what I'm saying.
Man City are going to revenge. We're close. We'll come up close. Chelsea are going to come close.
I'm thinking we're going to surprise a lot of people. I genuinely do believe we're going to surprise a lot of people. Look at where we were at the beginning of the season to how we ended.
Yeah.
You know, so say for example November, December time. So since the turn of the year, we've completely done away with him. So Matt has said Fabrizio just gave a handshake and a wink. So yeah, that's see. To be fair, on the Sky Sports News, it's saying that there's a lot of links anyway. So we'll pick that up on a separate show as well. But that's definitely good news. I'm gonna go with a C for Rashford. And I'll tell you for why. Just purely because since the lockdown, we've come back off the lockdown. I feel like he's declined somewhat. I don't. Well, his performance of he's just not back to where he was before the injury. Put it that way. He started off okay, then sort of like midway through the season, he was absolutely red hot, dangerous as you like. But towards the end of the season, I know obviously he's come back from is quite a serious injury, probably affected him mentally in some way. But ultimately, you've got to how much we rely on him. You've got to be a bit more consistent, I feel. So that's why I've given him a C. However, it's his best goal scoring season so far. Hopefully, he finishes on like 25 or something like that. That'd be fantastic. So, considering he was out for quite a significant period of time as well.
Yeah, agreed. And the only reason he got injured was because we thought we played him. We ever played him?
Yeah. Okay, so onwards and upwards over to Martial. Then Tez, I'll let you go first again. What you reckon?
He gets the same. He gets a B.
And why do you say that?
Even Rashford, as I said, I think they had kind of a Rashford was our main man, where Martial was having a bit of a dip.
Yes.
But then when Rashford was having a dip, Martial had come in and he'd followed up, and then when they was both on form together, then especially just before lockdown, I think, and just before Rashford got injured, that was on fire.
Yeah.
And then Martial carried that on. Obviously, he didn't pick up an injury or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's playing on Rashford's playing against Rashford. But yeah, I think they both deserve their Bs.
Bs.
Yeah.
Ooh, testing. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go and echo that. I've given him a B as well. I just feel like I was on Rashford or Martial's case quite a lot. I was pretty much saying at the end of the season we need to sell him. Yeah. Now I'm pretty much saying he's the focal point of our attack in that number 9 position, but soon to be pressed on realistically, and if we're being honest, by this man Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, definitely.
For the number 9 position, I don't see him as a winger by any means. Not to say he can't play there, which he has done. But ultimately, the size of him, he's getting bigger. Mason Greenwood is getting bigger, as you know, before our very eyes. So ultimately, I see him playing centrally. But what say you on his rating?
On Greenwood.
Yeah.
Mr. Greenwood or Van Greenwood is
Mason Van Greenwood. Yes, I love that.
It's his breakthrough season.
Yeah.
And most people might raise their eyebrows, but I'm actually going to give him the same as Rashford and Martial. I'm going to give him a B. Because to score that many goals, and he don't even play after games to start with. He didn't play after games, but he's right behind Martial and Rashford. Imagine if he'd been started. All three of them have been started.
Very good point. Very, very good point that is. And I feel like if he, what do you think? It's too early for him to play centrally?
Well, if it's true that Sancho's come and he needs to get himself over there pretty quickish into the central. I think he can play central. He's both footed. I think he's like a Igalo. He gives us another dimension.
Yeah, you're right.
Front. He can unlock defences because he can go on his right, he can go on his left. He does a couple of steps over and he's shot before you know it.
Yeah, you're right. And there's a little stat line. Can you see that there on
Yeah.
There's 18 and obviously Greenwood has 18. We was looking at this graphic yesterday and just look at the shot accuracy and conversion rate.
Oh, yeah.
At this age,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
At this age, that's better. That's all right. So that I know it's just his first season, but based on shots taken That's better than both Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi this season.
Was it you that told me he was better than Thierry Henry was at his age?
At that age, scored more goals than Thierry Henry at that age, and Thierry Henry started off as a winger as well. So,
that's got to be better than Owen as well, isn't it, mate?
You know, look how good Rashford was as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, but look at the goals comparison. For me, even if you, yes, the goals are important, but look at the appearances versus goals, and it's your shot accuracy and the conversion rate, massive. And even the dribbles, he's taking one less dribble a game at this age and still getting off that kind of shot accuracy and conversion rate.
Yeah,
absolutely huge.
I reckon them three next season.
Say again.
I reckon them three next season, Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford. If you add in Sancho to them, we're not going to be short of goals.
So, with that being said, then, how do we, like you say, because Giggsy was saying about Grealish, signing both. What do you reckon to that?
Grealish, I am 110% against signing Grealish.
Okay,
I do not see what he brings to Manchester United, what he could bring to Manchester United, apart from teaching people how to do his hair before there's a free kick. I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm a bit, it's a bit of a sore subject here with me, but
me too, Tez. Me too. We're in it together.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what Jack Grealish would bring to. It's not exactly like, I'm not being funny, but it's not like Villa. They scraped through from the skin of their teeth. It wasn't like Jack Grealish grabbed them and said, "This is what I'm going to do." It's not. He scored every game in the last couple of games. Come the last 5-6 games, it wasn't like he was bulldozing through and scoring goals and saying he wasn't. The defenders were scoring for him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what do we want to play like that now?
Well, this is what it's. I'd like to see us add a bit of depth though, and I think that's what Sancho does. I'm not mad at keeping Daniel James and trying to develop him on a little bit, but he's going to be 23. Is he going to be 23? Yeah, 23. Next season. So I'm not mad of having a lineup of Dan James, Sancho, Greenwood, Martial, Rashford, and Ighalo as my front options. I'm not mad at it at all. So can we be stopped with that?
Can we be stopped with that, user?
Yeah, can people stop us with that amount of goal scoring power? Will we be?
And going back to Grealish, right? I'm going to swear at you now. Would you rather see Bruno Fernandes on the bench and Jack Grealish standing where Fernandes usually does on the pitch for us?
Don't do that. Don't
exactly
do that.
What I mean. So what's the point of buying him? What is the point of buying him? Why would we spend? He's going to cost us 30 million at a starting point, and then you're going to pay him. What you're going to pay him in wages? You're going to pay him 70 at the least 70 grand, right? You might as well give Angel Gomez a bit better offer.
Angel Gomez, you know how much that's a sore subject for me, Angel Gomez. That was, but at the same time, like you say, I see what you're saying in terms of right. Okay, well, the alternative was this: keep Gomez, give him a decent deal. He obviously wanted to stay, but I've said from pre-season, I said Ollie doesn't fancy him. Yeah. Regardless of how well he played, he just doesn't and didn't fancy him.
Well, managers have their favourites, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Always.
So I'm sure you do as well on a Sunday. Just in case everybody's listening from your team.
You know what? There was on the podcast yesterday. To be fair, quite a few of them. But yeah, no, if we look at it is in a way that we're adding to the squad as opposed to just the starting lineup. That's why I think, in all honesty, Sancho's enough. I don't think we need to add too much more to that front line. Do you know what I mean?
Promote a bit more youth.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think we'll that'll be enough, and we'll be able to challenge without adding anything else to that midfield. Because you think about it, so we've still got in the squad Scott McTominay, Fred, Matic, Pogba, Bruno, Mata, Pereira, Lingard, Dan James, Rashford, Igalo, Martial. You know, in terms of operating the midfield three and the front three. So I don't know. I just don't think we need to add anything more. If anything, we need to get rid of a few. So
I still think we need to add the centre back. We need a centre back.
So you
need a centre back.
Who would be your preference in that position, though, Tez?
I'm a De Ligt fan.
De Ligt?
Yeah, I'm a De Ligt fan.
I
don't know. I know he's unsettled at Turin.
Yeah.
But
because they've still got Bonucci, haven't they, and Chiellini.
Yeah. And it's a reason. Rugani is thinking of leaving because they play the old boys. They play the old boys, and they won't give him a chance. And he was on the back last season. He wanted to move.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I mean, somebody said to me the other day we should go to Bournemouth and buy Nathan Ake. I don't know what you think of that.
Did you just swear again, Ted?
But I don't know what my exact words were. Why would you buy a defender from a team that went down?
Yeah, exactly. Even if he does look like Ruud Gullit, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Ruud Gullit, you can't play like him.
No, you can't, mate. You really can't. Okay. So looks like Mad Mark UK has been causing a bit of a storm in the comments today. So thank you very much for joining us, though, Mark, and obviously everyone else that's joined in as well, and Matt Rush for the super chat as well. What's he said about me? Yeah, so just to bring this one, McTominay, I was looking back for this one. Matt Rush said, McTominay looks decent but needs game time. How do we get McTominay game time? Obviously, we're going to have Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup. How do we get the game time to the likes of McTominay, Fred, Daniel James when we're signing Jadon Sancho? How do we get the
I reckon it's the Cups, isn't it? FA Cup, League Cup, and your lower. I know there's no easy games in the Premiership, but your lower games. I'm thinking. I think McTominay and Fred could be, if we don't get another centre midfielder, I think they could be pivotal in aiding Pogba and Matic. I think they can push Pogba and Matic. You know, if Pogba gets dropped one game from McTominay and runs riot, then that's kind of showing Pogba. You know, that's what
That's what you need to do.
Probably thinking, I should be doing that. I should be doing that. But and the same.
Yeah, true. But with Pogba though, he's raised his game pretty obviously since Bruno's been there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. And the same to Matic. Matic could, Fred sitting there and watching Matic play, could stop him giving the ball away so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Matic plays like it, so I play like it. Get in the team then, won't I? They just it's all mental things for some players. No fair enough.
Yeah. So, I'd like to see. So John's put in Pereira. For me, Pereira needs to be,
he needs to go.
So he's been out on loan how many times, and he's still come back. That kind of tells you he did he feature? Has he featured in one game since return after lockdown?
He come on. I think he come on for one. I don't know. I've always said that defensive Brazilian players come to England and they play well. I mean, you got Gilberto Silva.
Yes.
The left back that played for, I think, Arsenal. Silvinho, was it?
Silvinho, yeah.
Yeah, right. But
we've got Cleberson.
Attacking, good attacking Brazilians do not come to the Premiership. Juninho being the only.
What about Richarlison? For Everton?
No.
Ted, come on, bro. You got to play the game, man. You got to.
Well, maybe one or two, but you don't see Kaka and you don't see Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho had a chance to come to Man United to the Premiership, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
You just said Cleberson. I'll rest my case.
Yeah.
You got Pereira.
The Silva
I don't think Bernard from Everton's very good either.
Nah,
he's okay, but you don't send and Richarlison. You don't send the world on light for what they play.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? He's no Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo, that is.
So to Matt's point there, you can see Fred leaving. When is he going to get a chance to play?
It's going to be cups, or he's going to be coming on to bring on fresh legs, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. But with that, then they're not even going to be in sort of match fitness, then, are they? Because obviously they'll get match fit to a degree in pre-season, but then after that, when the league starts, they're both McTominay and Fred, like since the return of lockdown, when Fred and McTominay's played, they've just not looked sharp, and I just think that's from having a few months off. Yeah, and then no match fitness. So that's what it is. It comes down to me, in my opinion, anyway. So who would you get rid of then, Pez?
Out of Fred and McTominay?
Yeah, if you had to.
If I had to get rid of one of them, I'd get rid of Fred.
Yeah. But you'd keep Phil Jones, would you?
Nah, Phil Jones would be gone. Is Phil Jones in Man United stuff?
He's still here, man. He's still here. You see, you don't get anyone on the bench, anything like that. Even when there's 9 players on the bench, he gets nowhere near it. So,
at least he's getting his paycheck.
Oh, bless. But it's sad to see, but that's how it goes.
But going back to the centre defence, we do need a better centre defence, because I think I've said it to you before. Statistically, in form wise, Harry Maguire's best Manchester United partner isn't even playing at United. He's on loan in Roma.
True.
I know Smalling was. True. He had bad times, but at the moment he's statistically better than Lindelof, Bailly, and all the others.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there, but Smalling in the Premier League, he can't cut it, can he?
Which means we need that should say how much we need a centre defender.
I'd go for, and
unless he's gonna bring up Menga.
I can't see it. No, he wouldn't. I think he's more liable to buy in that position than he is to bring through. I think you've got more of a finding out period. Unless he loans him out, you've got more of a finding out period with your attacking players than you have especially centre backs.
He's an old man in a young body, though, that guy.
Yeah, you're right. Watched him a couple of times. You're right. But will he get an opportunity though? That's the thing.
As you said, probably best to loan him out to somebody that's going to be really in a dogfight and test his defensive skills. Send him out. Don't just send him out for the sake of send him out. Send him out somewhere that if he's fit, as long as he's fit and in form, he plays.
Yeah. And obviously, Cesar's saying there we should use Garner as a backup to Matic. What do you say to that?
Again, he needs game time in the starting 11, the first team, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So if he's going to move with Garner, it's either put him in or put him on loan to see what he can do. I think Garner's one of those players now. He needs to either go on loan and prove himself and come back like Hendo is, or he needs to be thrown in like
at the deep end,
like Greenwood is.
Yeah, you're right. And I think if we give them opportunities, then we'll find out whether or not they can do it in the Premier League or not. And I think that's the crucial thing. We need to know if these guys can do it in the big leagues. That's essentially what we need to find out.
I think the one thing he done wrong this season, Solskjaer, was when he played all the young guns in the Europa League.
Yeah,
I don't think it done them for any good. I don't think it done the Gomez's and all that, because they weren't playing with the McTominays, they weren't playing with the Rashfords. They was basically it was an upgraded youth game.
Yeah, I think that set them up for a fall, if you like. Obviously, unwittingly, Ollie's put them in that situation, but you always need to mix youth with experience, don't you? You can't just throw them into the deep end, so to speak. So
can't put them all together.
Nah. And that like I said, I don't want to say set them up for a fall. That's probably the wrong thing to say, but it didn't do him any favors, let's just say. So what would you say to JV's comment about Hermoso from Atletico Madrid or Pau Torres? Both are fast, left-footed, and really good defensively, but not too sure about passing. I know a bit about Hermoso.
I know a bit about Pau Torres.
I don't know much about Pau Torres. Sorry. What would you like to say about Pau Torres then?
Yeah, I agree. He's got a good engine on him. By looking at him, his passing's a bit subject. So if you're thinking Fred was a bit dodgy, we can't be giving the ball away too much.
Yeah.
We just need a solid midfield, because this season I've been sick and tired of watching teams just walk through our midfield. Nobody ever walked through our midfield when Scholes and Keane were there.
You're right. If they got through,
to go out the wings, or that to be like lobbing it over their heads to get it through them, and they just walk through these days.
That's what I was going to say. That's when we played. It was a 4-man midfield, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that we're going to learn from that, but Ollie has his ways.
It's happened too much. It's happened every game.
Yeah,
it happens in every game. They walk through our mid. I mean, Chelsea's second goal, they went through the midfield. I know Williams gave it away, but there's nobody there.
Well,
he was able to walk through.
From the time he's lobbed the ball into the centre of the pitch, there's like a free phase from there to the actual ball going in the back of the net, where if someone would have sprinted back, or someone would have come and challenged or forced the play. Yeah, I agree. It does happen far too much. Right.
So to be title challengers, that's one thing we've got to sort out.
Okay, so what do you reckon this one about Thiago, who's at Bayern Munich and is looking on obviously leaving? Beckenbauer's confirmed that as well. What would you say to Thiago as a possible backup? I wouldn't even see him as backup, maybe.
I think he's a good player. Obviously, he's played for two class teams. In Barca and but I think they've had the best. I think they've had the best out of him.
Yes.
And I don't like Manchester United don't buy world-class players. We make them.
Yes. I love that statement, Tez. You're absolutely right there, and we need to stick and get back to that. You're absolutely right.
We made Ronaldo just to let you know.
Just remember that. Right. Okay. Well, guys, much appreciated for you joining us in the chat. And Matt, thank you very much again for the super chat. Tez will be joining us going forward on the United Man channel, and hopefully we'll get around to actually setting up our new channel one day soon. But much appreciated for Terry, you joining me, bro, and we'll see you obviously much more often on here. We've been trying to do this for quite some time, haven't we, as well? So
one day I might wear a Pogba shirt for you, mate.
Don't make promises you can't keep, Tez. Why would you do that?
11 number 8 under if you like. But yeah.
What? You see how you treat people. Anyway, on that note, we shall bid you adieu, and we shall catch you in the next one. Tez, thank you very much for joining us, and we shall see you. Take care, guys.